Hey there, everyone. Chris from the Old Man Cycling Show. Thought I'd check in, give you a little bit of an update. This Wednesday, which will be, let's see, October 13th, will be 4 weeks since I had my surgery to repair my torn rotator cuff. You can see I'm still on a sling. You can see some of the bandages on the incisions are still there. The doctor did give me a go-ahead to ride a stationary bike, which I'm on my bike, which is attached to my trainer, which is attached to my rocker plates. Pretty stationary. You can see I'm moving a little bit. I have to wear a sling still. I have to keep my shoulder. I can't move my shoulder fore, aft, up, down, side to side. So my shoulder's still stationary for another 2 weeks. This is not my sling I got from surgery. This is one I have that I'll be able to wash as I sweat a little bit during this workout. The incisions are all healed up. This tape's just on there. It'll come off over the course of time as I shower. But surgery went well, so let me give you a little bit of a recap. So went in on the 15th of September for surgery. No problems. I had told the anesthesiologist that I had a bad reaction to general anesthesia the first time. I was really nauseous, really sick for like 3 days after surgery that I couldn't eat. So they gave me one of those little patches you put behind your ear for like motion sickness. Worked great. No nausea problems, no anything. So don't know how long the surgery took. I was in there at 7 o'clock. I know I went back to the OR around 8:45. Don't know what time I came out, what time I was in the recovery room, whatever. Don't know what time my wife picked me up. The thing I did have also when I had the surgery is I had a block put in. And that block, there were 2 different medicines in it. One was for the immediate 12 hours of surgery, very strong. I would have I had no sensation in my fingers, hands, couldn't move them whatsoever. The second medicine kicked in, and it was a time release thing. 14 hours or so after surgery, it kicked in, and my fingers would start to get some tingling, some sensation back. Still couldn't move my arm, still couldn't feel my thumb, and if I touched here on my arm, couldn't feel anything. So that block was really effective at eliminating any pain, and I would say that lasted until probably surgery's Wednesday. That lasted till Friday night at least. So I had no pain for the first 2 days. Slept in bed in a propped up pillow. A lot of people said, you have to sleep in a reclining chair. I got a wedge pillow that elevated my neck and head to sort of keep me elevated but still not let me roll on my side. Had to wear the sling to bed. It had a pillow that went in this area that held my arm out at a little bit of an angle just to lessen any tension at all on the shoulder. Worked very well. Sleeping wasn't the easiest. So about the 4th night, so Saturday night I started feeling some pain in my shoulder, and they did give me some narcotics. They gave me enough for 4 nights, 2 pills every 4 hours for 4 nights, so they gave me 8 pills. It was an oxy something or other, but it was effectively Percocet with ibuprofen. So Saturday night I did take the first one of those. I didn't feel knocked out, I didn't feel woozy, I didn't feel any effects of being on a narcotic. I just felt tired, and that actually worked out really good because that got me to sleep soundly for probably 6 hours. I woke up, took the next one, and that got me through the night. I have to say, through this whole process, my wife was great. She got me my medicine, took notes of every time I took everything, so to make sure that I wasn't taking too much. So that really worked out well. And so that continued for 4 nights, no pain. After the 4th night, I would get some cramping, like in this area here. It really felt like a cramp because I couldn't move my arm. I could do exercises, and I still do exercises like this, right? I move my arm up and down. I rotate my wrist. I can do these kinds of things. I can squeeze a ball. Obviously not right now because my arm's in a sling. And the other thing I can do is I can hang it like an angle like this and just let my rock and get the shoulder to rotate. But no real motion, can't pick up any weight. Doctor said even as much as a pound, don't pick that up with my right arm. So I go back in another 2.5 weeks. That'll be my final post-op visit and then I can start physical therapy, and then, I'll see the doctor routinely then. So, like I said, when I got my stitches out after 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks and a day that I got my stitches out. Then they put these strips of tape on to keep the incision, from opening up, keep it closed, everything. I can shower, all that stuff. At that point, I asked the doctor if I could cycle, which obviously he said I could, but I waited another week till today to start. The one thing I will say, that because of how my arm was positioned, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit of a hairy, sweaty guy. I did develop a yeast infection in my right armpit. It's not uncommon to happen. It's not extremely common, but it's not uncommon. And I have to say, that was extremely painful. It was just irritating. It was a constant, you wanted to itch it, scratch it, whatever you could do. But as soon as you itched it or scratched it, it made you hurt more. So, called the doctor's office on the weekend, got the doctor on call, told him what was going on, and they told me, just go get some over-the-counter Lotrimin, put it, clean my armpit with shampoo. So I was able to, get my hand up in there and clean it, dry it with a blow dryer so it's all dry. And then my wife would just put a thin layer of Lotrimin all on the underside of my armpit. Worked great. In about maybe 4 days, the majority was gone. I still have a sensitive spot up in the very top of my armpit, like imagine right here in the top part of my armpit. Still have a sensitive spot that's sort of the touch, still itches, but it's definitely clearing up, definitely much better than it used to be. So I would say that was probably, the hard part of the surgeries now is just remembering, because I can take my sling up during the day and do my arm exercises, just remembering not to do things with my arm. So I tend to wear my sling, like right now I have it on and I'm keeping my arm in tight, just so I don't try to do things. But all in all, I would say that the surgery itself was not bad. I'm real anxious to see what happens once I go to the doctor and I can start physical therapy, because what they effectively do is they take some nylon screws that have sutures coming up through them, and they drill them into the top of your humerus head. And I'll show you a picture at the end of this segment. And they take sutures through that and put it back through the tendons that were torn and tie that down to the bone. And the intent there is to allow the bone and tendon to graft together again. So, you don't really know if that's successful until it's had time to really heal. And I asked the physician assistant when I went to get my stitches out, when will I know if it's a success or not? And he said, well, it's really hard to tell, but, someone your age, and I guess, hey, I'm older, and as active as I am, he said, there's about an 85% chance that everything's going to work out just fine. You'll be back to normal. You used to be back to being able to move your arm, doing what you used to do before, that kind of thing. But don't really have a good timeline as to when I'll know whether that worked or not, or how to prove it worked or not. I suspect if I go back to my pre-op state with just constant pain and hurting, apparently didn't work. But that's something I'll ask the doctor when I go back at 6 weeks. So otherwise, I just wanted to give you an update on how it all went. Sleeping's still hard. I'm not a back sleeper at all. So I sleep in chunks. Like I'll sleep for a couple hours, wake up, sleep for a couple more hours, wake up. So I say right now, generally, I feel pretty tired. But, been off the bike. My last ride was September 11th. So I've been off the bike for a month. Just going to start out easy. Today I'm just spinning my legs. I'm not really, no efforts, because I can't hold on to the bars with two hands. Can't really grind. I'm just spinning. Barely putting out any effort at all. I am breaking a sweat though, because I haven't done anything for so long. But feels good to be sitting back on the saddle. So that's all good news. I personally don't think that I will have the confidence and the ability to ride outside on a road bike or a gravel bike. If I can be outside by the end of February, I'll be very happy. I think that'll be on schedule. If it takes longer than that, that's okay. As long as I can do my indoor riding on Zwift and do my workouts. I have a good training base to go from. I should be pretty well set to build up over the winter, start next spring, ready to race again. That's my intent anyway. So, I'll start out easy in October, November. December through January, I'll put in some good effort to try to build strength. February, March, try to build that power, that speed. And then, April, May, hopefully start racing again. That's my plan anyway. So, with that said, I highly recommend the surgeon I went to and the health system I went to. I used Rothman Orthopedics in Philadelphia. Can't say enough good things about them. Their doctors are great. Their staff's great. Very, very professional, very courteous. Call you back if you call them and have a question. Just really, really great team of doctors and staff. I can't say enough about them. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you relative to the surgery. Not really, other than, I'm really anxious to get on with the physical therapy, start using my arm. If I touch back here, it's all bone. There's no, any muscle that I did have, which wasn't a lot to begin with, has just atrophied to nothing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to therapy. I'm looking forward to getting that started, but I have, at least another 2 weeks before that'll start. And then we'll have another update. So until then, I'm going to keep riding. And like I said, the next thing you'll see is I'm going to show you some pictures that they gave me post-surgery. So if you're a little squeamish, you might want to skip ahead for a minute or two, because I am going to show a few pictures. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to show some pictures of my surgery now. So if you're squeamish, I suggest you skip ahead for the next minute and a half or so. So I'm going to count down to 10, and then I'm going to show some pictures from my surgery joint, inside the joint. It was arthroscopic surgery. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this first picture is taken inside the joint before any work was done. So this is basically, shows you how inflamed the joint is, all the scar tissue. Of course, I missed med school on this day, and, my whole show is built upon truth in what I report on, so I can't tell you what's what in there. I know we're looking inside the joint. One part of it is the head of the humerus. The other part is some of the ball that the humeral head goes in. This next picture is more of the same. It just shows, you can see some of the striations down at the bottom of it, the white strands. That's part of the tendon that tore. Coming down to this part, what you'll notice here is all the white furry strands at the bottom, those are part of the torn tendon. Those all got shaved off when it got reattached. Here you can see some more of them towards the bottom of this picture. That's the tendon as it ripped off of the humeral head. So, they clean up those loose parts. They find some good meat in the tendon to reattach it to the humeral head, same as in this one. So then what you get is over here, you can see that blue thread is what's actually over top of the tendon. It's anchored into the humeral head and comes across the tendon and hold it onto the humeral head so it can, fuse into place. So that's one view of it. And then this is the final view I have. This is the last picture they took before they took everything out of my joint. This is the finished joint all cleaned up. You can see there's a little bit of striation back, or looseness on the bottom, but that meat of the tendon is attached to the humeral head, and that's what you really, the doctor explained to me anyway, that's what he's really looking to get, is that good contact point, so it fuses back to the humeral head, and all is right with the world again. So back to the regular show now. So hopefully that wasn't too gory. After the surgery, the doctor said everything was a success. Everything went like he planned. No surprises. Nothing to be concerned about yet. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Any questions, comments, as always, just leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Really helps me out. And if you like this video, please click the like button. I appreciate it. and give you another update in a couple weeks. So until then, Christian Old Man Cycling Show saying peace.